Recommendations. I think there are 5. Number 1. Okay. First, the considerations. Natalie has already alluded to these 5 factors. What I say, like criteria for considering policy recommendations. Climate resilience, water sustainability, technical feasibility, public acceptance, potential for expansion. Now, mind you, when you look at these 5 criteria, I think, you're going to be very analytical, I keep, so I see the lecture mode, once in a while. So you think about this, of these 5 considerations. 1, water sustainability is a principle, and the other are more like operational requirements, such as like potential for expansion. So we have to keep this in mind when you think about these 5 considerations or requirements applied to evaluating policy options. Put that aside, these are the 5 factors that we consider in coming up with 5 recommendations. Number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So let me look at each of this. Each of these 5. The first one is to reduce reliance on natural water cycle. The whole idea is climate resilience, so that we can maintain, as a city, some kind of like control in regard to our long-term water policy, to basically keep ourselves away from the uncertainties associated with climate change impacts. So we can rely on water that would not be impacted by like drought, climate change related uncertainty, then we are in a better position in terms of securing our water supply. Second point, to have a very ambitious vision for retained water in non-potable use. David has already given you some examples, current examples of how we are making use of retained water. And now what we are proposing, is that right now the target is a bit too modest, very limited, 2.5% of total demand. And even on that, we are not sure because the water agency has not provided any target date for reaching the 2.5%. 2.5% of what? Total demand. Now with data dating back about like 5 years ago, they were talking about like 2.5% of 1 billion cubic meter of fresh water demand by the year 2020. And now we're talking about further down the line, maybe 2030, maybe 2040. Now without that information, it's difficult to say. Is 2.5% very ambitious or unambitious? In terms of policy option, it's not very ambitious, 2.5%. So in terms of a viable policy option, meaning it can actually be an option that will replace another source like imported water, then we will argue that maybe 20% then is a meaningful policy option. So that's what we mean, meaning ambitious. Ambitious vision, meaning it has to be more than 2.5%. Now, if that's the case, then there's a lot of implications in regard to investments, investment decisions from the point of government, what they should invest in, to make this into a viable, meaningful policy option, retained water. Number 3, desal. Desal is all like hot topic everywhere in the world. London is building a second one. Sydney is now talking about building another one. Even though they haven't really used the first one. That often. Now, Natalie in her presentation already made reference to these 2 considerations. One is what about this impact on marine ecology? Second, this dependency on energy. So instead of depending on imported water, we will be depending on what imported energy. So you have this trade-off question, for desal. So desal is not like a panacea. There are costs associated with this option. And so we make the argument that we need to consider impact on marine ecology. We'll also be very conscious about it because it's very energy intensive. In fact, it's the most expensive option among all options, in terms of water supply. So not until, it's not like this is the last resort, okay? If nothing else will work, then we turn to this option. Otherwise, we should not exercise this option, okay? But because, energy and marine ecology impact, these are important considerations. The number 4 policy recommendation, right now the urban water cycle in terms of management is highly fragmented. We have several water agencies. Agencies pertaining to water resources management, like water supplies department, drainage services, environmental protection department, they concern with water quality, and AFCD, agriculture, fishery conservation department, have to do with water conservation, nature conservation. Okay, it needs water. Okay, without water, there's no nature conservation. Okay, in different places. Yeah, and right now they're operating with this silo mentality. Okay, they don't really work together. Okay, each agency working on its own. Okay, so we're making an argument that for Hong Kong's long-term benefits, okay, in terms of water sustainability, then somehow there have to be some reform, okay, administrative, so that these agencies could collaborate. Yeah. And the last policy recommendation have to do with information. Okay, without data, without transparency, it's very difficult for us in civil society to conduct an informed debate, okay, on what are the options. And one example, unmetered seawater flushing, a lack of timely access to user information. Okay, on this one, okay, users, we are users, right, at household level. And right now, each household, okay, will receive a water bill once every 4 months. Okay, so in 4 months, if you really want to conserve water, okay, you start practicing water conservation measures, you have to wait 4 months before you find out whether or not you actually water. Okay, you receive the next bill, right, and say, hey, I saved 2 liters of water. Yeah. So we make the argument that more timely make information, okay, on water use, okay, more accessible to users. Okay, and there are technologies that can make that work. So making data accessible, user-friendly, okay, is very important in terms of reinforcing positive water conservation practices. And so these are the 5 recommendations. Yeah.